Welcome everyone to Lights of Miiva, episode 60. My name is Sam Leonard and I have a problem with recording, but I'll figure it out later. I have some players.
My name is Zuru, playing Lumia, the Circle of Stars Druid.
Wrong button Suda here, playing Riisha, the roguelock. I has a brain, I swear.
I know I usually go after Suda, so I am Mia, and I am playing Beraald, the ranger with my animal companion, Lucy, the big raccoon.
Hello, I am Sadie. I am playing Zari, and I'm here to welcome you to the Demon Feast on the Solstice.
I am Inter, and I'm playing Criior, the fast monk.
So last time, you guys fought some birds on a ship. Went mostly okay. There were only 3 of you that ended up falling off of, well, 1 of you fell off on accident and 2 of you fell off on purpose, of the ship. Yeah, the fighting of the birds went pretty well, and the Burgundy Baron stocked up on many pieces of rock, and a day or so of uneventful flying, mostly in a northern direction. The captain of the Baron looks at you and says, all right, it's about here is as close as I feel comfortable with. We're about a day's journey outside of Haifa. I'll let you path yourselves there. Good luck on your whatever you're trying to do. Hopefully you can make the skies safe to fly again. And the ship settles down almost to the ground, similar to how it picked up those who had fallen off of the ship, and leaves you and Iris and her team of fighters, and her team on the ground, and picks back up and sails away almost exactly in the direction that you guys came from.
Well, that was something.
I want to point out that I don't use the rope ladder, I just jump.
Fair enough.
So we have a day of walk in front of us.
Oh, but I want to fly some more.
Iris
Free falling was like the best feeling in the world.
gives you a long look, talks to the leader of her crew and says, all right, let's make our way. Unless one of you would like to lead the way, one of mine can guide us. So,
Well, it's not that hard, just follow the road.
fair enough.
The road hasn't been trafficked very much the last while, so wildlife may have encroached upon it. So we might want to try to avoid those.
Yep. So,
A survival check I can lead.
yep.
All right.
Lumi.
With an 18, you find evidence of mostly you're thinking domestic animals released, as opposed to a large amount of wild animals encroaching. Some evidence of Vuji and rabbits and other like domesticated animals moving through the area. occasionally you'll see fox tracks or some similar type of things, but no real big predator evidence. And it is a fairly pleasant walk along a road, and by the end of the day, early evening, you guys can see the city walls starting to rise up above the horizon. As you crest a hill, Iris kind of stands staring at in this light of day, shimmering kind of pillar of light in the distance. Could I have an insight check from anybody or everybody?
Lumi is too busy pondering the pillar of iron to notice anything.
Zari, you see a gleam of interest in Iris's eye. You catch that like, you're not sure if brain go burr or what, but you definitely sense an interest in Iris's eye. Criior, you see a toothy grin, just almost a smirk forming on her lips, and she almost tastes the air, and she calls a halt and says, all right, we're about an hour's march outside of the city, I think. She looks at you, Beraald. She said, you said that outside of the city is generally safe from the creatures that are inside of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally.
So, yeah, fair. So we'll set camp here. I don't think we want to start scouting overnight. Given the tales that you guys had of previous times, I think we'll try to restrict ourselves to visiting the city during the daylight hours. She waves over a couple of her officers and says to them, set up a semi-permanent camp here. We'll be returning here. I'll leave the rangers here to collect food, and take most of the rest of the troops into the city. The officers nodded her and go about setting up a camp. A couple of them head into a nearby building and start coming out with like firewood, and other combustibles. At which point Iris gives them a look and then goes, let's set up in the barn. And there's kind of a look back and forth between them and go, oh, that just says, oh right, we're not in the wilderness. Like there's buildings here. And they start moving into a nearby barn.
Hey, Zari.
Yes?
Would you want a kitchen to make food? And I will point at the next house over. Like, I'm guessing they got firewood either from an outside shed or something, and pointing at the house, which likely has at least a hearth to make food on.
It would probably be helpful. I'm sure I can do something with some camp rations.
Iris nods at you two and says, good idea. Set something up. We'll be better served if we keep everybody with good food. She heads into the barn. to help clear it out for camping.
Lumi heads into the house looking for the hearth and starting a fire.
Yeah, very simple
Making
farmhouse. There is a enclosed stove. So it is made of mostly clay brick, but it does have a metal top, mostly copper, but still metal top on it. And it's got some ashes and stuff in it, but it's got an oven in one side and then a metal like cooktop on top.
I'm gonna scout the surroundings a little bit, just to see maybe if I can find some food and maybe some other stuff, just like what's in the general area of this buildings, this farm.
Give me a survival check, please. Looks like a farm to you. There's a pen. There's a disused vegetable garden. There's a couple of fields out behind it. Maybe 200 yards away, there's another very similar structure. Barn, house. Yeah, it looks like a farm to you.
That's it for me.
As camp is set up, the troop it's pretty obvious that not everybody's gonna fit in this barn. There's almost 40. Well, there's around 40 of you total, and so it starts off with trying to set up everybody in the barn, realizing that's not gonna quite hold everybody, and it moves to a couple of officers and the magic users set themselves up in the barn to sleep, and the rest of the troop find flat ground, clear it out, put tents down, that sort of thing. A couple of extra cook fires are started up just because one family stove isn't enough. Zari, what are you making for supper?
Did we took some of that bird with us?
You guys have, yes, fresh meat from the bird.
So rock steaks and eggs.
Chickens, there are chickens everywhere, so finding eggs is not a problem. So yeah, you guys have mother and child, but not literally steak supper. Zari, give me and this is less how good it is and more cooking utensils check. How many people you can feed in a reasonable amount of time. With a 21, you are short order cooking this. You've got the system down, and it's not very long until everybody's got some rock steak and eggs with some pulverized ship's biscuit equivalent, and a cup of warm tea to get them through the evening, and it's just pleasant conversation generally around. This is less the nights on the ship were a little nervous. Definitely felt the conversations between Iris's crew felt nervous, and now it's relax, we know what we're doing sort of thing. You get many compliments on your cook skills. One of the officers goes, "I don't think could I convince you to stay in camp and just keep cooking for us?"
Unfortunately, no. I have a restaurant to run.
He looks around.
I
Back at
think he was
Miiva.
referring to while we're here, but no, we need the strong one.
Fair enough. He heads off with his plate. The evening passes into night without too much drama.
Zari would like to go up and talk to Iris while she is. I assume she's like making plans with her commander.
Yep. So in the barn, you find Iris. They've found like a trestle to get a flat surface. Did you guys give them a map of Haifa? I thought you did.
Yeah.
So they've got a map of Haifa out.
Yeah, they got a copy of the last known location of the holes that we know of.
Right.
They're obviously going to be bigger since last time. So I'm just going to go up and so what do you think that big pillar is?
It smells metallic here, Iris says. It's magical, whatever it is.
Well, there was iron dust in the air afterwards for a long time, so
Interesting.
That field that we're going to enter tomorrow, where it messes with our marks, is your disguise going to be able to maintain itself through that, because it does some weird stuff to magic?
Iris goes, I think I can handle myself. It'll be okay.
How many of your men know?
Well, she looks at her officer, she looks at you. 1.
Okay. I just don't want a bunch of freaking out soldiers when we get there that might draw unwanted attention.
She nods.
So I
understand.
I don't want to lose anyone on this, if it cannot at all be helped.
She nods. I don't either. I've lost more on this trip than I had expected already.
Once we get through the gate, probably the best place to set up a field base, a forward base would be the Blue Rock Guild. We have business there, but it's also a fairly defensible location.
She goes, I think that's most of the way across town. I'd much prefer to set a location. If we're going to set up something inside of town, I'd want to do it on the south side of town, since we're near the south gate.
Oh, we're going into the south. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys
I thought we were coming from the north.
Nope. You guys
My bad.
are coming up this road right here.
Okay. Scratch what I said then.
Yeah. That's okay. Speaking of the Blue Rock, are there any other places that you'd need to visit while we are in the city? Or can we go straight to the holes?
The Blue Rock is the only definite. I don't know what is left standing. The keep might not be there might not be much left of that. This is players speaking. The only thing I see outside of the immediate area of the holes is the Wooden Limes house, the Adventurers Guild, Moma's house, and the monastery.
The monastery is gone.
The monastery was over here, I think.
I'm looking at number 9.
Number 9. Oh, yeah. Monastery Knowledge Keepers. Where was number 9? Oh, number 9 is like right outside the... Yeah. So, yes, the Knowledge Keepers would be... Well, at least the last you saw it should have still been standing.
Yeah, if we could, please.
Iris looks at Criior and says, I know I'm familiar with your order. Do you think they would have gotten everything, all of their books and scrolls and everything out, or would there still be worthwhile to salvage from the Knowledge Keepers?
Well, I want to make sure that the section that needs to be cleared out is cleared out.
Fair. All right. We will leave basically at first light. We have we're getting into with the progression of spring, the days are getting longer. I'd like to use as much of it as possible. So,
Right.
All right. With the troop with you, you guys do not have to set up watches. They set you guys up in the barn with the officer and Iris and the magic casters and work to set up their own section of watches. So is anybody going to stand a watch?
No, but I'm sneaking off to that house to see if I can find a bed.
So Riisha secures a bed for the night. Got it. It's
Lumi will maybe not actively partake in a watch, but will stay up with this fascination with the new anomaly in the night sky. Sketching and erasing and trying to figure out how best to
new anomaly because the
yes, the big one that's from Haifa, the new anomaly.
Okay.
Although it isn't as new anymore.
Right, because the last time it was here, you guys saw the same pillar, although the direction you came, it was much more dramatic because you saw the sun either rising or setting through it, depending.
Yeah, this is the thing in the actual night sky, where the monsters came falling out of.
Ah, yes. Oh, sure.
That thing trying to figure out how to represent it in a star map of sorts. He's going to be tinkering with that.
Give me a... I don't know if it's a dexterity check or an intelligence.
Here's a tools check.
That'd be...
But...
those are cartographer tools, right?
Yep, but you can decide attributes.
I don't know that this is a cartographer tool check. I would say give me... You're trying to translate... This feels like intelligence to me. You're trying to translate something from your eyes and your brain onto a piece of paper. I would accept dexterity. I'd be willing to be argued to dexterity.
You know, I would like it because it's a better stat, but I'm with you on the intelligence. It's not necessarily hand-eye coordination. It's hand-eye coordination with the how the F will this look in two dimensions.
Exactly. So give me an intelligence roll then. You spend a couple hours, and it's you have like carbon pencil, and you've got some gum eraser, and after spending a couple hours of this, you kind of look down at the sheet of paper, and it's smudged, and it's like you can clearly see the midnight version of the cup star pattern. Constellation, yes. You can clearly see the midnight version of the cup constellation on your page. But the smudges and the erasures and stuff, like, you just can't quite put to page the image you see up in the sky. It is hauntingly beautiful in the way that only a wrong thing can be from your perspective. Like, it has a beauty in its wrongness, and as you spent this last hour trying to put it on a page, it looks all the more wrong because it occasionally, as you're staring up at the stars, will obstruct, hide, overshine some of your constellations. And that thought is like a deep horror to you who are tied so heavily to the stars, who depend on them for both your magic and for guidance. And if this continues the way it goes, you can imagine a day when the night sky is so bright that you can no longer see your constellations, and it's chilling.
You, Lumi, scrunching up the parchment he's been working on as best he can, which isn't very good. Baseball pitches it just in a random direction, yells, "God damn it!" and goes off to the outskirts of the farm encampment, and basically looks like he's sulking.
I'd like to say that Beraald has been just doting on Lucy this entire time after almost having lost her. So that has been his focus for the evening. But seeing that, Beraald would like to just quietly go and pick it up and look at it and then put it in his satchel.
Beraald, you pick this scrunched up piece of paper, and you can see the skill that Lumi had and the frustration in the paper. It doesn't show. You can tell it doesn't show whatever Lumi was trying to say, right? You can you've seen enough art that you know it wasn't what Lumi had wanted, but you can clearly see the star map on this page, and it has a beauty of its own. It is a simple drawing done with simple tools, and you pack it away into your pack. Lucy kind of watches you do that, gives you a shoulder bump with her shoulder, and then goes over to Lumi and like just Lumi, as you're standing there staring off into the distance, you feel a furry head just kind of come up under your hand, and you like reflexively scritch it just a little bit before even really realizing who it is. And Lucy just kind of gives you that animal, like, I don't know what's upset you, but I'm here for you. I'm here for you. You can scratch me as much as you want to work it out, sort of thing.
Oh, hi, Lucy. You're right. Maybe I need to disconnect. And he sits down, crisscross applesauce, and pulls Lucy in and just behind the ears scratches, like going after the, in quotation mark, good spots.
Lucy kind of almost cat-like melts into you. And Lucy is, 130 pounds, size of a very large dog or a smallish human, just leans into you, and it's the smell of dirt and grass and whatever else Lucy has been crawling through, and she's just leaning into you. You obviously find the spot because while she's not a dog to have her foot kicking, you can just feel that kind of animal like shiver go through her as you find the itchy spot that she's never quite able to reach, and give her a good scritching.
I'm dying.
In the evening, I will be going to the other casters that are there. I'm not really a caster myself, but I have notes, and I will show them to them about what happened to our spellcasters and spells the last time we were here. Just so the spellcasters are a little bit more aware about what can happen.
One of the pretty sure they're either a wizard or a sorcerer, but they're reading through a book, so probably wizard. Takes your notes, kind of scrunches their face up and goes, wild magic zone?
I don't know.
That's what it seems to be. Is this every time you cast, or is it just some of the time? Is it more pronounced if you do a more powerful casting, and just starts like giving you 20 questions? Give me. I
will look at my notes to try to answer them.
Give me your I remember this from a book, with advantage, because you took the notes yourself. Because you have that like trait, right?
Yeah. That's history.
Yeah, but give yourself advantage. With the natural 20, they managed to draw out of you way more information than you even remember yourself, but the information is, and they're taking their own notes. They've like opened to a new page in their book. It has called over the other two casters, and they're like, by the time you're done relaying what had been going on, they're like chatting back and forth, and well, it'd be worthwhile if we do this and do that, and like it's they got a lot of information out of you that you didn't even realize you knew, having been an observer and not a caster.
Yeah, that's why I write things down, so
Exactly.
Other people can ponder over it. That's it.
All right. So Riisha, you wake up in the morning as Zari. Oh, Zari, did you have anything else you were going to do for the evening?
No.
Okay. Riisha, you wake up in the morning and it has been a glorious night in a bed. And then you realize something. It has been a glorious night in a bed that has had nobody sleeping or cleaning it for almost a year at this point, months at the very least. And the only as you're coming up out of this blissful dream, the one thought that snakes its way through your head is bugs. Crawly, creepy, all over your skin, itchy, bitey, pincers, just bugs.
That was a bad idea. Zari, I need a bath. Find me water.
So Zari, as you're like prepping to make breakfast, out of the next room comes a just like Riisha just barreling out of the room.
I mean, that was your own fault. We had a perfectly cleaned out barn, but no, you decided to go find a bed that hadn't been cleaned for over a year.
I am not a Vuji. I am not sleeping in a barn.
We've slept on rocks. What's wrong with sleeping in a barn?
Rocks are better. Barns are for animals.
Trying to think
good morning.
trying to think of a sassy comeback. Cannot at the moment.
Well,
About this time,
Lumi enters.
About this time, Lumi proceeds, but with a bunch of other people as they're getting up. It's just a little before dawn, and people start piling through this area to get food for the morning. And
Hi, Riisha. By the way, it wasn't a barn, it was a barracks tonight.
Potato, potato.
Only animal I saw sleeping in there was Lucy.
Lucy could have shared the bed with me.
She's Beraald sitting, I'm guessing at another table, just sort of leans over and says,
She's not good at that.
Yeah, but I'm smaller and more cuddly than you.
You know what? I can't argue with that. Fair enough.
with almost military-like efficiency, Zari, you get everybody fed, and those who are remaining in camp set out a perimeter to hold watch, and Iris gets on, like she tightens up a couple of things around a person. Looks like she's ready to go into battle. And she goes, "All right, are we ready to head off? It's about an hour's march into town."
I think we are ready.
Very well then.
would it? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is a player question.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what would I could I just have a quick description of the pillar that?
Sure. You are you are familiar with this. It's not it's like a heat shimmer over like hot pavement almost. It's not quite right. So it is about the diameter, pretty even circle about the diameter of the town. And it's just this pillar of it's a little bit shaded from the sky. Like it's almost impossible to see if like the sun is directly overhead and you don't know what you're looking for, but it's like this pillar of moving air and some sort of like dust. Having spent time in Haifa, having spent a fair amount of time in Haifa, you know that it is what it really is a very fine dust that is like coming up out of the holes and then going into the air and then getting caught by the air and then traveling up into the sky. And it is very like rust tasting, and yeah, it's just constant everywhere within the city. If
That
you
was oh.
Go ahead. If you are standing like to the east of it at some sunset or to the west of it at sunrise, that is the most dramatic time to see it, because the light shining through it, especially at sunrise or sunset, becomes multifaceted, multicolored. It's like, from a player perspective, you know, when there's like wildfire smoke, you get really dramatic sunsets, or pollution, you get really dramatic sunsets. It's like that, but it's basically just in a pillar over the city.
That was an absolutely perfect description. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys gather up, get your stuff, and follow along after the marching rows of soldiers. These guys look kitted out for war at this point. Swords and shields, armor, and they are prepped. They are ready for whatever they can see. And it's an hour march into town with you following along, or proceed. I guess it's up to you guys. Do you head out ahead of them, follow along behind them, kind of try to mix in with them? That doesn't really work very well if you try to mix in.
I think I want to be at front.
Okay.
Lumi's frustration from the previous night means he's just power walking as best he can. So probably up front as well.
Okay.
I think Beraald would want to keep watch at the rear
All right.
of the group.
Yep. Zari and Riisha?
I mean, just moving along with the crowd.
Okay.
I'm at the very back.
At the very back. Okay. So, Beraald and Riisha, you guys are at the back, and as you get closer and closer to the city, you can... Iris has a look of, like, concentration on her face as she marches. She's not marching with the troop, but she's definitely following along immediately after them. And she is staring very intently at the city as you guys approach it. And as Criior and Lumi, well, Criior first and then Lumi, get to the city gate and find it open, her eyes, Iris's eyes, narrow as they cross kind of that threshold, and she watches like she's watching intensely. She's trying to pick something out. And then she reaches over to her side, takes out a notebook, scribbles something into it, closes it back up, and then calls double time to her troop to try to get them to catch back up to Criior and Lumi, who've gotten a bit ahead of the rest of you. And it's not long until, somewhat incautiously, especially you, Beraald, think the troop crossed the threshold into the city. Yep. And move on in. And as you come up in the end, mostly what you hear is their footfalls as they move in a little further into the city, and Iris calls for a halt, and you guys look around and it feels very deserted. Like, this place has never really had a lot of activity during the daytime, but it feels very deserted right now. You don't see evidence of the creatures you remember from the many times you were here in the past. And Iris seems to be just literally tasting the air. She's like, breathe in, close her mouth, kind of look around, take another deep breath in. She looks at you guys. Where to first? Guide the way.
Are we planning to go down through the small hole or one of the bigger ones? And whichever's first on the way would probably be the monastery. I did not quite see it on the map.
Monastery is here. You guys are currently... Oopsie. You guys are currently just inside this gate.
So, pretty much a toss-up between monastery and the Blue Rock.
Yeah. It's a several-hour walk through the city from here.
So our big question is, are we going to go around the outside of the keep, or are we going to head through the middle of the market between the two holes? That will hem us in on two sides.
Let's just investigate the first hole first, see if it is grown, see if we can find any activity.
About to say, what if there is no in between the two big holes anymore?
Because if that hole is grown with, 100 feet or more, we don't have to go to the monastery.
Okay. Is the map that we are seeing on the screen right now the updated one or the old one?
This is the map as you guys last knew it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is basically the map that we drew.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask a couple of questions about what I'm seeing on the map?
Absolutely. You can ask many questions.
Okay. Fantastic. This blue-purple area, what is that?
So that is the that is the area that was formerly controlled by the Twilight Virtue. The Twilight Virtue was a very prosperous trade guild. They had all of the best shops and stores. Like, they were the place, if you needed a magic weapon or magic armor or magic doodad, they were the ones you went to. If you wanted to go to a fancy meal, they had the best restaurants. They were by far and away the most prosperous. Like that was the hoity-toity commerce section of the city.
Upscale basically.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know, Lamborghini and the Rolex watches and I don't know, rich people things.
Yep.
So yeah, all those buildings between those lines were owned by them.
Yep.
Okay, and you said that was a guild, Twilight Virtue Guild.
Yep. The Twilight
Yes.
Virtue Guild.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question would be above it. Are you seeing when I'm holding down?
Yep.
Are you seeing the little pulse? Okay, so that blue marking.
Was that not Vex?
Right.
No.
Vex's house was 10.
Yeah, that was something. I forget what that was. Honestly, off the top of my head, it was like a NPC's house that we never really marked out.
Okay. And then how about this aqua teal situation over to the right of?
That was the fort, the like the city capital or the city like office fort, and the ruins that were kind of piling off of it.
Okay. So, and then last question. So the blue, the blue
The blue
ridged area.
That is the area of Amari. So Amari was a captain of city guard, and so that was his area of like patrol.
Their district.
Their district of the city.
Okay.
So Amari is Zari's paramour. And that is where they lived, and yeah, like 11 is the office, and her headquarters.
It was the district watch house.
Yep.
So those two and
those
yep.
two were access to the sewer for. So the reason that this hole is much smaller than the other holes is because the players managed to go into the sewer and go around town and find a bunch of the things that caused the holes to exist and gather them up from Amari's area.
Oh.
And so those two things were like access points to some nefarious ne'er-do-wells hideout sort of thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And obviously the big black things are the holes.
I don't know why I think that. I should say the city isn't actually quiet because there is a roar of a waterfall in the background. Actually, of two waterfalls in the background. You guys couldn't really see them from where you were coming up the city, but yeah, the contents of the river flowing in two directions towards a hole are dumping into the city there. And Beraald, you would know that. You've seen that firsthand.
The waterfalls.
Yep.
Okay.
Because while the river on the right is much smaller because, well, it's only traveling 50 miles instead of hundreds, it is also flowing in the wrong direction. So that's fun because there's the hole there.
And they're both flowing into the hole.
Yep, they're both flowing into the hole.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Headed towards the first hole that you guys have on the map?
Yeah. I just want to see if it's grown with my current drawings and stuff like that.
All right. So you guys head up. The wizards of the crew, as you guys work your way through the city, Beraald, could I have you make a survival check, please?
Absolutely.
As you guys travel through the city.
Oh my goodness.
You come up to where where you have the hole marked, and one of the people, one of the Iris's people goes, how accurate were these drawings? Like, how accurate were your drawings of these circles on the map? If I remember correctly, between Lumi and Iberkeet, you guys got a pretty good sense of how big they were and how fast they were growing. And Iberkeet says, well, it was as accurate as we could make it. And the wizards like do some concentration, like do some measurement in ways that they can measure it. And in the few weeks that you guys have been gone, the holes have grown, but it's like an inch a day, and so it's like, you know, slightly bigger.
Yeah.
Like the holes are in fact bigger than they were the last you saw them.
A couple of houses that were, at least started eating a couple of houses that were safe when last we saw them, and stuff like that.
But it's not like they've like taken over the center of this, right?
Yeah, so we still have bridge access.
Right.
If we walk through and make ourselves a new door or three.
Where's the bridge? When?
This is the bridge right here.
Oh shoot.
Sorry,
can you ping it one more time?
Twilight Virtue Guild area.
Got it. Thank you. Oh, that gigantic bridge. Got it.
Yeah, that's
a, in quotation marks, bridge between two holes.
Oh well, yeah. Then there's this area that is the
right.
I was assuming that was the bridge we were meaning, but
oh no,
Lumi and Zerda is steadfast in that we might need to make a couple of doors ourselves to use that.
Yeah, to go through. There's buildings in the way if you wanted to go up through the middle.
Through.
I would go
this area. Okay.
Yeah, I would just go east side, right side.
Right now, you guys are right about here. You can see. You can easily see across. Like, it's a hole in the ground. Like, it's not a black. It's not a black thing. You guys can easily see across to the other side, and it's kind of fascinating because, like, you can see the buildings that have been almost neatly like cookie cuttered out, and down into the hole you can like see the layers of the understreet sewers and the water pipes. Like, there are water pipes that are just like flowing water into this hole. And like you can see the layers, like where the street were built. You can see like the foundation that was put underneath the street, and the sand and the gravel and whatever else to build like a street surface on top of it.
And then the old street beneath it.
Yeah, exactly. Iris approaches the hole to stand at the edge of it, and then very gently like reaches a hand out over it and mutters something under her breath. Could I get a perception check from everybody, please?
Yeah, I'm interested enough.
Holy buckets, Batman.
I made a joke about it being pronounced Beraald, and I was muted.
Holy buckets, Beraald? Yeah.
Yes. It's hilarious, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
It's too bad that we didn't actually have that joke. All right. Lumi and Beraald, you catch that Iris cast something when she waved her hand over the hole, and you see her come away with an egg-sized sphere of metal that she then palms in her hand and suddenly puts into a pocket. I need somebody to make me a D20 roll, please.
Oof.
Really?
I'm so sorry.
No, that's amazing, but oof.
Okay.
She failed her spellcast check to avoid setting off wild magic. It was like a DC 11. Okay, hold on.
How much do we as a group trust Iris?
I don't know how much as a group do you trust Iris?
We trust her as far as we can throw her.
Okay.
So a lot then.
No,
don't think
remember she's a
trust is
dragon.
That's right. That's right. Toothy
I was
Iris.
going to say, trust is a strong word for something you're scared of eating you.
All right. I found the table, I'm pretty sure, that I was using before. So could I have, Beraald, since you rolled the 2 when she needed a 4, could I have you give me a D100 roll, please?
Got it.
50.
Pretty average.
So all y'all see pretty much only Beraald and Lumi catch what she did, right? But Iris turns back to the group and opens her mouth, and pink bubbles rise out of it and slowly drift up and pop over her head. And whenever a bubble pops, a word is said, but it's they don't pop in order, and so it's just gibberish words. And
Oh boy.
she tries to say something again, and she starts getting frustrated as she's unable to speak and just bubbles are coming out of her mouth.
Oh boy.
And
Oh boy.
Yep.
one of the wizards looks at her and goes, interesting effect, and writes something into his book.
Beraald looks at Lumi and goes,
Is this normal?
Well, you were in here longer than we were, so you probably would have seen this. But yes, the town is surrounded by a wild magic field. Whenever you cast a spell, you have to roll a DC check to pass the wild magic surge. If you fail that check,
DC is 10 plus the spell level.
no, I think that was Criior
Yeah. Well,
in character saying,
Oh, right.
yep.
Got it.
yeah. So if you fail the DC check, you roll on the wild magic table, and that comes up with the effect that your spell fails,
No,
and
succeeds.
well, the spell succeeds, and then you also get a bonus on it.
Mm-hmm. That's the out-of-character explanation. But the in-character explanation is...
Right.
This is about as normal as can be expected of this city, yes.
Sometimes
Okay.
it's beneficial, sometimes it's weird.
All right. So this isn't just a thing with Iris specifically.
Nope.
No.
Son of a...
Okay.
Fuck! Oh, good.
Ooh.
Surprise.
That wasn't
I look at Iris. Has bubbles stopped forming out of her mouth, or was that just
bubbles have stopped
bubbles
forming out of her
popping
mouth?
at the?
Nope. It's been about a minute since that happened. You warned me. I knew.
Yes, we did.
It's my fault.
And Lumi will look towards the spellcasters of the group. Keep spells to emergencies only, please.
Ah,
And
that's
he
fun.
But where's the fun in that?
Lumi will kind of look above the non-existent glasses
Oh dear lord.
at them, like tilt his head down and look out the almost Kubrick stare at them.
Well, Riisha, if you're casting invisibility, I need a D20 plus your spellcasting modifier, please. Spellcasting, spell proficiency.
+3. Dice. We do advanced. D20 +3. Roll. Perfect.
So Riisha goes invisible, and I need a D100, please, Riisha.
Perfect.
31. Okay. So you find yourself when you cast this, you launch yourself 15 feet forward, and land nimbly. Like you get, as it says, for the next minute, any spell you cast that costs 1 action allows you to immediately fly 15 feet via magic winds that carry you briefly and deposit you on a surface. This movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity. So you fling yourself 15 feet in the air, 15 feet forward, and land invisibly elsewhere.
And all anybody hears after that is wee.
Riisha.
So I'm guessing.
I am not Riisha. I am the wind. I am a leaf on the wind. Watch me soar.
No.
But we can't, because we can't see you anymore. One of the troopers says, chagrined.
And now
Iris,
she's just like running in a circle, giggling
like, kind of
incessantly.
facepalm. Goes, all right. Enough tomfoolery.
Yeah. Let's
Go east side, stay outside the keep's walls.
Good plan.
stay away from the walls a little bit. Maybe even just take the outskirts here and then join up on the road there. And then we'll have to navigate the small hole for somehow.
All right. You guys head off. Beraald, give me a survival check, please.
I laid.
All right, Lumi, you are familiar with this town as much as any of your friends are. Very much more so than the troopers are, and so you take the lead. And it is a several-hour trek through the town, around the outside wall. Do you go around the outside wall all the way to the bridge, or do you go towards the hole?
I don't know. I think it's shorter to take this road here. But then we have to navigate the hole. And if we go outside all the way, we don't have to navigate the hole. So I don't know.
Well, nah, the hole is mostly in the way anyway. I personally would probably take them in that northeastern entry and hug the wall inside.
Right.
Till we found the river, then follow the river to the bridge.
Sure. All right. It doesn't take a roll to do this. because you are completely familiar with this town. Like, you know these streets. You mostly follow the wall, but you take the fastest route around the outside of the city. It is a several hour walk. It's approaching noon as you guys get close to the bridge. Yeah, of course you do, Riisha. Could I have, while you guys are on that walk, could I have anybody who has survival trained please give me a roll?
Yes, you may. Please hold.
How do you know if it's trained?
There's a
You have
check
the
mark
check.
by it.
Ooh, so many words. What was it?
The check mark beside the skill.
Okay.
Ooh.
There we go. Does anybody else have it trained?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
survival trained.
About the same
technically.
time, Lumi in the very front of the group and Beraald near the very end start catching sight of something, just like watching from side alleys. Like you see a person is the best you can think of, like humanoid, or at least humanoid shaped. Like as you're walking through the city, like just turning down, like you'll see their back just turning down the alley as you cross by, or you'll see a head pull back away from a corner a couple of streets down from where you are, or otherwise just start catching something that is, you're not sure if it's just observing your group or if it's stalking you or what. And you're not sure if it's one humanoid creature or if it's multiple. You never get a good enough look to like get a sense of like what they're wearing, how tall they are, how short they are, like hair color, skin color, any of that. Like you just catch it at the edge of your vision, like the motion in the corner of your eye as you turn a corner of something disappearing behind a wall or ducking down behind a table or something.
A tiny glimpse.
It's that motion in the peripheral vision as you're walking in a forest and you see animal, but you don't really see an animal. That sort of thing.
And Lumi and Beraald are not next to each other right now.
Yeah, Lumi's leading the
Okay.
group and Beraald is coming up behind them.
Okie doke. For Beraald, I'm just going to say that he is going to make a point to keep an eye out.
Okay. You've been in this city more than anybody else in this group. And you've seen this before. Like, you have been in this city when you've seen something similar. And you have, on occasion, tracked this motion down. And you were in the process of doing that when you got teleported to actually join this group the last time you were in the city. But the most recent time that you caught, you tracked this down and actually caught them. There was at least once in the past that you did this, and it was like a refugee that hadn't escaped yet. And so you kind of have made it a point on occasion to try to track this down. But the most recent time you did so, you got in a deadly lethal struggle with an it's a woman. Well, it was a woman wearing armor. She had bat wings, and you aren't fully familiar with them, but you think it's some sort of demon or devil. And you barely got away with your life. Like it was a deadly struggle that like Lucy gave you an opening and you fled from.
Okay. I'm trying to think about how much Beraald would want to stop the group for this. But okay. I'm just going to make a decision.
Yeah.
Beraald would like to say to a couple of the soldiers around him, get their attention and say,
I'm seeing some movement, and I've had some experience with this in the past. I'd like to go check it out, but I definitely don't want to go alone. Would you be willing to go see what's going on?
The soldiers like look to their leader, who looks to Iris, and Iris gives a nod. And you and Lucy and a couple of the fighters peel off from the main group and start tracking into the city a little more. The rest of you, including Lumi, notice this.
Lumi will keep an eye out for the next time he notices the figure, and if it's within range, I will need to see if I've prepared the correct one or not.
Okay. So, Beraald, you get into a side street
Nope.
with...
Can't.
You get into a side street with these troopers, and...
I will follow.
Okay. Could I have Beraald and Criior make me stealth checks, please? Natural 20 and an 18. All right. So you guys stalk the stalker, and it's not very long until you're in an alleyway, I don't know, 50 yards ahead of the main troop. You guys can see Beraald like leading the troop and watching carefully, and there is a like kind of a interesting noise, and you see a medium-sized person wearing city guard armor materialize out of thin air. You guys are right about... So the main troop is, right about here at this point, and you guys are like in this alleyway just up here, right? And this person materializes out of thin air at exactly the right place, that as Lumi, you see this figure like step into the alleyway. It's pretty obvious from Beraald, Criior, and these troops that this figure was setting it up so that they are stepping into the alleyway.
Oh no.
So that it looks like somebody was observing you and then like hiding, or observing the troop and then hiding, but like they appeared out of nothing and just appear to be stepping towards you. And you have a moment of like, you are hidden from them, They are stepping down the alleyway, and they are beginning to cast a spell. And so you have a moment to react before they can do that.
How far away?
40 feet, 30 feet. Not very.
Then I will just... If I see it's casting a spell, I will run in and try to stun it.
Okay. Sure. You get to act first. They are surprised. They did not expect to see you there, so you get to act. A 21 will hit.
Nine.
9 damage. Okay.
You can make a save.
What save is it?
Stunning strike. Constitution.
Constitution.
17.
Constitution 17. So that is 7 plus 15 is not enough. So you come up to this. Oh, I described it as bat wings. They're actually red feathered wings. Sorry. My brain filled in the wrong information. Anyway, so you leap out of hiding, strike your quarterstaff upon this person, and as you do, the illusion falls away. You see a beautiful woman wearing full plate armor, has blood red, what's the proper term? So the wings at the very bottom are bright red, and they fade to almost white at the very tip at the top. Shoot.
Oh, it's
An ombre.
Ombre, yes.
There it is.
So it's ombre colored wings that appear to almost drip with blood at the end of the feathers. And she screams in surprise as you smack her in the face, and she is stunned. And Beraald, now everybody gets to act because, well, she's stunned for a round. So Beraald, you have an action, or you have a well, I guess Criior has more hits too.
Both hit, one hit.
The 23 hits, the 16 does not.
8.
Okay, so 17 total damage. I need to make a note because was not prepared for this, because I'm never prepared for things.
I'm assumed that it's not friendly looking.
Oh, you've run into an Arenes before. They kind of messed with you the last time you were in town.
Okay.
They are one of the devils who haunt this place right now.
Did they was Beraald there when they messed with them the last time they were in town?
No.
Okay.
And I will... I don't think yell, but maybe at least sound loud enough to get attention of the troops.
The scream was plenty loud enough to get attention.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Everybody else heard a woman's scream, but it's not quite right ahead of you. And Beraald, you get to go because you are also part of the surprise round.
Yes. So Beraald will have come up behind Criior, just sort of as, backup, kind of guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to look to see if I have any rope on me. And I don't.
I was going to say, you almost assuredly would.
Yeah. I maybe just didn't.
Yeah, you have rope on you. You would have gotten it from somewhere.
So what Beraald would attempt to do is reach forward, grab her hands. I'm assuming it was what is the word? Somatic spell. She was using her hands.
She was casting a spell, physical and somatic component. I forget, verbal and somatic. Yes.
Okay. I don't know about verbal, but what he what? Well, let me think. Think. Okay, I'm going to do what I initially thought, which is he wants to run forward, grab her. He would like to attempt to grab her hands to stop her, and then, if possible, to try to tie a rope around her.
Well, she's stunned.
Around her hands.
So she has the stunned condition, which means that you basically... now I need to look up the stunned condition.
Yep.
5e stunned. You have an advantage on attacks against them. Blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, grappled, invisible, paralyzed, petrified, stoned, stunned, incapacitated, can't move, can only speak falteringly, automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. And so, yes. So if you're trying to basically bind this person, which is pin them basically in a grapple,
yep,
they automatically fail the saving throws against that happening to them. So I would like to have you roll a strength check to tell me how good you are at tying this Erinyes up.
Okay. And to be clear, so Beraald's thought is he's not entirely sure that this person is trouble. So not quite seeing them as an enemy. So I would like, if he succeeds, to have her hands in front of her, not behind her. Okay, so strength, here we go.
Yeah. 24. You trust this Erinyes up, bind her wings to her back, bind her hands in front of her, and get her feet hobbled to the point where you're fairly confident that she's not running away from you. Like just truss her up like a cow at a rodeo. All right.
Okay.
So now we are at round 1 of combat. But
I'm so sorry. I get did that count as an attack? Because I get extra attack?
It's not an attack. It's considered a tool use or a use object.
Action.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Action.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the extra attack is the attack action.
Yep.
And
understood.
Also, Beraald, as a bonus action, you can make an attack with an offhand weapon as well. Just remember that too. So you can make up to 3 attacks in a round.
That's
unless you're
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So top of the order, we'll go with Criior, Beraald, the rest of the party, and then the Erinyes. Because she was utterly surprised by this, so she's going at the bottom of the initiative, and I want everybody to have an action before she gets to go.
Can you spell her name? The name of her race?
Erinyes.
Thank you.
Now I'm looking at my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have... I think rope will work as well.
Okay.
Blanket is a little bit too much. Yeah, I'll just tie a rope so she cannot speak as well.
Okay. So you use rope to bind her in a gag. I'm not going to make you roll for that at all, because that's not something that she would have to untie that to get it free or chew on it.
Yeah.
It's not something she can just break free of by main strength.
Yep.
Oh, then I don't use my hemp. I just my normal rope.
Okay. All right. Who else has actions? You guys are a move action away from where this is happening. It's just down the street and around the corner.
So Criior and Beraald have
Yep.
already taken their
Well, you
turns.
now I guess you, Beraald, you have
I
another.
can go again.
Yeah, you go again, Beraald, and then everybody else.
Okay. Okay. Honestly, with her tied up, Beraald would like to shake her and say, "This,
Hey, what are you doing? Why are you here?
Well, that's after my next round, so she is not stunned anymore. Or it is not stunned anymore.
Right. So, what she's doing when you get to her and start shaking her Beraald is struggling against the ropes, which she can't break free of.
right."
But could I have your... Give me a d20 roll, please, Criior, as your rope needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, interesting.
17. She doesn't manage to chew through it, so she's gnawing on the rope around her in her mouth, and like she's as she's doing this, like it's tearing at her lips, bloodying her face, and she's just glaring at the two of you.
Also, not friendly. I say that to Beraald.
Okay, I'm getting that.
I guess he would just. I don't know that he's doing anything other than just. He just wants to say,
Calm down.
"Yeah."
That doesn't go over amazing. She just dead straight into your eyes, and her eyes narrow as she's fighting against her bonds. All right, next, who wants to go?
Okay.
Lumi will round the corner, comment to Beraald. This one will not calm down. This one will, in fact, calm up. Bonus points for anyone who gets the reference. And I will risk it for the biscuit and cast Ferriphobe in such a way that I'm only targeting the Erinis.
Okay. She can't pass a dexterity saving throw because she is currently hogtied. So she automatically fails her saving throw. But you also need to make a DC 11 spellcaster check, please. $24. You're fine.
And the Erinis is now
Glowing.
glowing and sparkling like the night sky.
Nice.
That was the totality of my, and also any attacks have
Advantage. They already have advantage, but yes.
Not anymore. Because
Oh, right.
the stun
Well, she's
went
bound,
off.
though.
Yeah.
She's no longer stunned, but
Well,
she's
that's
bound.
that's what Lumi does.
Sorry, and why is she sparkling? What is that attack?
Fairy Fire.
Fairy fire. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Who's next? Zari or Riisha?
Ooh. Riisha comes in full sprint, uncharacteristically screaming, "Kill her! Kill her! Kill her!"
Yep.
Actually wielding her short blade this time.
Nice.
Because, she's uncharacteristically enraged.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we have her. What do we do with her?
Well, I'm assuming Riisha is doing a stab, or
Riisha is doing the big stab and missing horribly.
you have advantage.
I do. Yes.
26
Kill
will
it.
hit. Slashing, fire, and sneak. So 13 plus 9 is 22 damage. GPTP, that's 39. All right.
And of course, Riisha, not so subtly, screams in her face.
Oh.
Mother Mab says hi and goodbye.
Unfortunately, the fire doesn't seem to affect her, but everything else does. All right, Zari, you're up.
And that's it.
Zari is just like, okay, we have her. What do we do with her? Are we just gonna poof her or what? Zari is confused what the plan was.
Well, you know my plan is to stun.
Give us
then
some
some
respite
tied up
from
happenings.
mindfuckery.
Yeah.
I just, I've had experience with people running around in the city before, and some of them were just refugees looking to get out. Some were more dangerous than that, and I wasn't sure which one this one was, so I wanted to find out before just attacking her.
Well, you're pretty sure at this point she's not a refugee.
This one's a dangerous one. Might as well make smear on pavement.
All right. Zari, you gonna do a hit, or are you gonna let it go another round?
Let it go another round. That was Zari's. That
Okay.
was Zari's. Like Zari was questioning what was the plan.
All right. So she is going to try to break free of her bonds by just main strength. She will fail. So give me another roll, Criior, for her as she's chewing against your rope gag. Ooh.
Well, there we go.
So she, as she's trying to struggle free of the bonds, she like chomps down through the rope, like tearing, like chewing through her, like the corners of her mouth as she's doing it, and just pouring off of her chin at this point is like deep umber red blood pouring out of her mouth, and she's just screaming at you in a language that I don't know that any of you understand, but it doesn't seem happy. Do any of you speak Infernal?
Yes,
Oh, you speak Infernal? Nice.
I sure do.
And so what she's screaming at you, Beraald, is, I will fucking kill all of you. Your corpses will make a lovely bed for me to sleep in tonight. As soon as I free my hands, the streets will be littered with your gore. You know, that sort of thing.
Whose turn is it?
That was Urina's turn, so back at the top of the order, we're back to Criior.
Still tight, so no use to stun it, but let's just whack it.
21 will hit. For 11?
Yep.
Okay. 26 will hit. For 7.
16 will miss.
16 will miss. So the third blow, like, she like twists her head in just a way to catch like the horns of her helmet to deflect the thing off of smacking her.
and I'll take a little bit of distance.
Okay. Criior, freeze some space around her. Beraald, you're
Let's
up.
say 40 feet.
Yeah.
So Beraald, upon hearing her,
Says, okay then.
and I would like to have him bludgeon her with his club.
Is your club magical?
How would I know?
Does it have like a
Magic bonus 0 is what it says. Is that helpful?
not
or-
necessarily. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
And it doesn't say a +1 or something.
Yeah, let me bring up the character
It's
sheet.
club, and it says 1d4 plus 2 bludgeoning.
Oh, because this is just a normal club then. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's fair. Just bludgeon,
All right.
bludgeon away.
All right.
You have advantage, and you can roll from your character sheet too.
All right.
Just click on the weapon.
Yep. Apologies, of course.
24 will hit.
Yes. And then I roll damage.
Yep, roll damage. 6 halved to 3. So your club doesn't seem to be doing as much damage as you expected it to. But yeah,
Okey doke.
you have a second attack from your first attack action, so you go for it again.
All right. So he. Let me think. Doesn't. So I actively notice
Yes.
that it's not okay. All right. So Beraald shrugs, and if it's allowed, I'd like him to pull out his hand axe.
So you could do that with your offhand for your offhand attack. That's your bonus action attack.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think do you have quick draw as a feat or anything? I don't think so.
Not that I see.
Okay.
So I would be happy to then. I don't know which weapons are in my offhand.
Whatever
and we
one
can
you
talk
wanted to choose.
Oh, okay. But a hand axe is not an offhand weapon.
Sure it could be. I think it's a light weapon, so it would be good for an offhand weapon.
Okay. If then I would like to do that then.
Okay. So swing it with your hand axe, sure. You have advantage. So roll again. 19 will hit.
Nice. All right, and let's hit it with the slashing.
Yep. 4. This doesn't seem to be doing as much damage either.
Yep. All right, so then Beraald would like to just go.
I don't know. You guys try.
You could hit him you could hit her once again with your club. It won't do as much damage as other things, but you could still do it.
Oh, if I can, then
Yeah.
I'll take that 20 if that's all right.
If that's not a natural 20, so roll it again. Yeah, it's 20.
Are we serious? That's crazy.
Roll your damage. 5.
Another 5.
Down 2, so 16. All right.
And then Beraald
Go.
says,
Yeah.
Gives a shrug and says, all right, you guys go. Or you guys try.
From the sidelines, Eberkeet says, "Try a magic weapon." All right. The
Nice.
Zari or Riisha?
Lumi will
Or Lumi?
throw the produce flame at her.
Okay.
Cantrip.
Yep. Roll your wizard. Roll your spellcasting. $27. You're yeah, you absolutely hit.
I was crit fishing.
Yep.
Take either of those.
So
As you see
what
fit.
you see when you hit her with produce flame is it doesn't seem to have any effect on her. She is not singed or damaged in any way. Also, roll your D20 DC 10 for casting spell. Yeah, you're fine.
Right. Fire. And avoid fire. That's all Lumi wrote.
Glad it wasn't just me.
Go for it, Riisha.
Yep. With her sword still in her,
Uh-huh.
she's going to reach out and inflict wounds.
Ooh. Okay. Well, roll to with advantage.
Yeah.
You reach out to touch, and your hand, as you try to, kind of glances off of the armor, unable to actually touch her solidly enough to actually inflict wounds upon her.
How dare.
Uh-huh. See, she's got a high AC.
And before she ends her turn, Riisha continues to scream, "You will die by my hand, devil!"
Zari?
Zari picks her up, walks her 10 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zari is going to cast Word of Radiance.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
I'm also gonna quickly roll my wild magic.
Yes, please. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range must make a DC Constitution saving throw. Spell save DC, is that as 11 correct?
What is my spell save?
Yeah. Should be your charisma bonus plus your proficiency bonus, I believe. Or at least your charisma bonus.
8 plus proficiency plus charisma, so that would be 12.
12, okay. She succeeds.
Okay. Oh, and I get to choose who does that, so I don't need to take her 10 feet away. I thought it was just aura.
No. But
okay,
that's a big. Each creature of your choice. Wow. That's like a crowd clear.
Yep.
Okay, that's a cantrip? Well,
Yep.
paladins are scary. All right. But she makes the save, so she doesn't damaged, I believe.
Yep.
So
Spellcraft.
Yep, spellcraft check, please. DC 10.
That's a charisma or
It's
Yep, paladins are charisma casters.
yep. So it'd be charisma check, I believe. Not with advantage, so a 3. Roll a D100, please, Zari.
Reloading, so you're on your own.
20. So you cast this spell at the Erinyes, and suddenly pooling at your feet and going out for, I think, a 20-foot radius all around you, the ground becomes covered with grease and becomes difficult terrain.
Riisha flubbed hers on purpose.
Oh, she did? 16. I thought he was rolling a 16, not. For the next minute, you regain 5 hit points at the start of each of your turns. You're not down any hit points, but you gain 5 back if you are.
I'm not.
All right. About this point, Iris comes up, looks to see what is going on, pulls out a scroll and casts a spell from the scroll.
Is it banish?
It is banish, but you don't know that.
As Lumi sees you pulling out the scroll, are you sure that's a good... Poof!
I need to know what to roll against. One creature you can see within range.
Charisma.
Charisma saving throw.
Save.
So charisma is +8 for the Irinis. 10, 18. That's not good enough. So so Iris walks up, pulls out a scroll, casts an enchantment. The Irinis vanishes, leaving the ropes that she was bound up in behind.
And according to the spell, returns to its home plane with a faint popping noise.
Mm-hmm.
So it would very much be fitting that Lumi goes, "Are you sure that's a good..." Oh.
Exactly.
Why does everything pop around here?
No idea, Beraald.
I think she just stays there.
If
She's an outsider.
Iris can keep concentration for the full minute, question mark.
I mean,
she does not return.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing to attack Iris, so I mean, by just sheer reputation, Criior, you don't know what the spell she cast was, but you're confident it was banishment.
I hope you brought a case of those spells with you, those scrolls.
There's just kind of a very careful smirk on Iris's face. She turns back to Lumi and says, "Go ahead and lead on." And we'll go ahead and call that there for the session. So, thank you to my players for playing. Thank you,